And so let's get into the next segment I want to talk about, which is Negative One's birthday, which was a really cool celebration. I think they gave him the kind of match that he wanted to see. So I'm not going to critique the match itself, but just in general, I'm blown away by the kindness of Tony Khan, the kindness of all the AEW staff and personnel. It's a cool thing to see.
You know what? Like, and people like would go at it from an aspect of like, that's a turn off. If you're to tune into that match, it's going to look like quote unquote amateur or something that like, or, if you're a casual fan. But you know how I look at that is that it's like they're putting humanity above getting ratings. Like, and I'm totally fine with that. Like, and I think a lot of people should be in that regard too, because, it's showing you what kind of company and mentality and family aspect that AEW has for one another. And
Tony Khan is already a billionaire. He doesn't he's purely doing this for entertainment and for fulfillment at this point. He's achieved everything he needs to achieve from a monetary standpoint. So I think in a nutshell, this whole thing is just him saying like, hey, I'm not a corporation. Like I don't operate like some big every employee is just a wheel or a cog in the machine.
In the system, yeah.
Like this, you people are important to me. Your families are important to me. And so I think that him saying that and making something like that happen, unbelievable. Speaks volumes about him as a person, and speaks volumes like I said about all the staff and personnel with AEW. It's just good-hearted people. And again, to me, as a wrestling fan who's been watching, I'm like, hey, these are good people, and I want to see what else they do because of this. You've seen me get frustrated over storylines. You've seen me get frustrated over the directionless angles. But this kind of thing, seeing that, I'm just like, hey, these are good human beings in a profession that I love. I'm tuning in every week from here on.
And that's cool you say that too, because like a lot of people just think short term, like, oh, that's so ineffective, or that's not going to draw fans or viewers. But if you look at it from a perspective of like, okay, this is goodwill with his company, not with fans even. Like fans will get brought in and ultimately do get brought in, obviously, because like fans, that's what you need to tune in. But like, if you're showing that to your employees or your workers or your talent, it's like that speaks more, and I think in the grand scheme of things will speak more to you as a company and as a promoter,
And let's face it, wrestling fans by and large have changed. Those guys who are showing up to the show with giant spitters and chewing tobacco, like, yes, they're still there, but I think a lot of them are getting replaced by...
You saw that at WrestleMania in New Orleans.
What's that?
You saw that WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans.
And they're still there. And honestly, I kind of vibe with that crowd myself because I like old school wrestling. I like wrestling, as Vince McMahon would call it. So I sort of vibe with that spitter crowd. The crowd of people that's going to be throwing batteries into the ring when things don't go their way. But that being said, I think that a lot of these the today's wrestling fans are like hipsters and like nerds, like the
dude,
sort of
we see it at KSWA in Pittsburgh all the time when we go to Spirit.
Right, the people that enjoy like going to Comic-Con and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's like it's a different crowd now than it used to be, and I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Ultimately, too, I liked how they played it off with Brodie Jr. Like, I thought the ending was funny. It was like, my birthday was 3 days ago, you idiots, and then he like threw the papers at Serpentico.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And again, you want to talk about, so obviously that kid's future is pro wrestling. I mean, he's getting like he's born and bred for pro wrestling. Couldn't be cooler. Happy for him. Happy for his family.
Yeah, his mother said on Instagram that they treat him like one of the boys, but they allow him to be a kid. I thought that was such a cool quote from her, like on Instagram. After the birthday party happened.
And again, it speaks volumes to how much respect they have for Brodie Lee Sr. Where it's like they love him so much that they like, hey, bring his son in. We'll treat him like one of the boys. Like, we'll train him. We'll make sure that he learns the business.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be cooler. It's really interesting. It's a cool, unique thing to watch. Something we've certainly never seen in wrestling before.